too long since we've seen each other last, but it has been long enough. Long enough. Long enough. So, today, I did a poll. Not today. A couple days ago, I did a poll about tea time in overcoming an ailment, depression, anxiety, all the things that make this life interesting, to say the least. Interesting, to say the least. And you answered. Oh boy, did you all answer? Now, I have a sneaking suspicion, based upon the poll results, that a lot of you may or may not have some sort of anxiety. The usual. Let me close this door. That solves that problem. It's kind of getting a little stormy outside. I can see the trees just doing their thing, waving around in the distance. Just doing the whole number, By the way, I've already poured my water in my teapot here. It's dripping on my hand. It's quite hot. So I'm actually going to open this up. We're going to let this cool down a little bit. I should have done this beforehand, but what can I say? I'm a little impatient. So, the winds you hear outside, well, embrace them. Because they too are going to be having tea with us today. Now, as I keep rambling, we are going to discuss how to overcome our anxiety. Overcoming anxiety. It's very simple, really. It's a very easy thing to do. Just don't be anxious. Just stop worrying about it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you next time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've heard that, believe it or not. Someone in my life, at one point, actually a couple times, have said that exact advice. Or should we say, scripture. It's great advice, really. Honestly, wonderful. Where would we be without the great advice of our constituents? Who knows? Lost in the abyss of foreverness and, anxiety, maybe. I don't know. I've just received great advice my entire life, and well, I've never needed it. It's also a joke. Also a joke. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's let this cool off for about 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna brew my tea in your tea. We're having green tea today. Something's in it, and it's Danish, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not sure if you can see it or where my focus is, but got enough in there for 2 people. Don't worry, I'm not stingy. Yeah, so let this cool off. Get some tea going, and let it brew for about 30 seconds, so it's gonna be good. And we are using cups here with cherry blossoms painted on the front in a nice blue color. It's very nice. Ceramic as well. The inside. The outside and the inside are not glazed. They're like a rough porcelain. And then the rim here seems to be glazed with some sort of pottery glaze. The same thing. with the flowers on the front. Very small. It just means you cherish it. As we do not have to live in excess. No. So, overcoming anxiety. I'm using this, by the way, because I don't have a strainer to stop the tea leaves from coming out of my pot here. So, it might be, frowned upon, but this is how we're going to do it for now. Until in the future, when we revisit this scenario, and I have the appropriate materials. Cool. So let's go ahead and, oh dear. There we go. Don't want that getting out. Go ahead and steep that. About 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There we go. Cool. Put it up there for now. Let's put this back on. And we shall begin our first pour. That smells very good. Very calming, actually. Floral. Let's see. Very light. Nice. Very good. So, now that we have what is required of us to dive into the monstrosities of the world, we begin with a parable. Just kidding. I don't know any parables. I might. But I don't know the definition. Anyway. So, it really depends on what sort of avenues you seem to be facing these obstructions of mental comfort. That is not someone peeing, I promise. That's the water in the walls. But there are many avenues of anxiety. Social anxiety, generalized anxiety. They come in many shapes and forms and colors and degrees of severity. So, I will be discussing what I seem to have a lot of trouble with, so I can best relate to it and maybe offer some insight into how my mind works. And maybe, as we delve into that, find some sort of solution for yourself. And I think that would be great. It'd be wonderful. So, me, personally, I do suffer from social anxiety. Go figure. As I sit here in front of you, making videos and posting myself all over the internet, it is quite a conundrum. Quite a conundrum indeed. But it's different. I only have issues in, I would say, larger groups of people. If it's a small amount of people in a quiet setting, things are generally fine. I can focus on the conversation in front of me and manage all right. If it's a very large group of people where nothing matters, it's also okay because I don't feel obligated to talk to anybody. And I'm generally not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I like to keep to myself. Unless you're really cool, then, we can be friends. But when it's a larger group, and there's like loud settings like a bar or anything like that, it becomes increasingly difficult to pay attention and keep my mind on what's in front of me. And I start cycling into all of this bad stuff. All these things that don't actually exist. So I think to overcome these things, it's best not to run from them. You see, as I was growing up, I used to be terrified of socializing. Like, I would avoid it at all costs. And can you tell me what that does? Do you know what avoiding a problem like that does? Nothing. Makes it worse. Maybe. But it certainly doesn't help. You see, when you avoid these problems, because it's easier, trust me, it is easier in the short term, maybe not the long run, but it is easier to run away from the problem. But when you do so, as you're not engaging and actively trying to make a difference in that situation, that thought pattern, you find yourself on the opposite end, sitting there, thinking about all the ways it could be worse. Well, let's play a scenario. I invite you with me and 4 of my friends who you've never met out to a bar. Now you know me, and you don't know them. Reluctantly, you say yes. Okay. But you know me really well, and you wanted to hang out, so this is the way to do it. I'm very proud of you for doing that. You get to the bar. It's a long day at work. I'm supposed to meet you there at maybe 9 p.m. Well, you roll up at 9 p.m. and no one's there. So, you're sitting there in a bar alone. Already uncomfortable off the bat. Now you're somewhere you don't really like socializing. And you don't know anyone there. So do you talk to strangers? Do you sit in the corner, play on your phone, acting like you're busy, flipping through the screens as if you're doing something, but really you're just passing time, hoping that any second now, a familiar face will walk through the door, because that will release you from the prison you've created in yourself. Now already, you're sitting there thinking, everyone's looking at me. They can see I'm here. I'm with nobody. God, I'm a loser. This is awful. Why am I here? Why is that guy looking at me? Why are they pointing? Why are this, that? And who knows if all of that is a fabrication of your own thoughts, or if it's real. It's so hard to tell. It's so hard to know when our brain is lying to us. It is. So, you progress, you move forward, you stand in the corner. And I'm going to drink yours as well because you haven't touched it. So, you stand in the corner, watching that clock, and familiar face. However, it's quickly shot down as I do walk through the door with the 4 people I already know. Right? Great. So now we already have a meeting going, talking, laughing, having a good time, and here you are at the bar alone. And now you have to inject yourself into this conversation, this group that's already been established. But you only know me, and well, you're not good at talking to people, so what do? You wait for me to say hello, introduce you, and then you stand there and don't participate because, oh well, you're so used to being talked over, or maybe you just have nothing in common with these people. You have 2 choices. Talk to them, or make up an excuse and go home. A lot of the ends I've made up excuses and went home just because, well, most points in my life I felt lonelier around people than by myself. However, that is an easy route, and something I don't recommend, because regardless of your reasoning, whether it's you're just not that social, or your anxiety's too bad and you just stop functioning, I think it's important to ask yourself, why is it you're there in the first place? Why is it that you are wanting this experience? What is it that you're trying to gather from this adventure? And what do you feel like you're missing when you don't participate? Because that is, well, one of the answers to, what are you doing? Why are you here? You know? So, if you look at it instead of a problem as a solution to getting what you want while you're there, why are you here? It becomes less of a task, and you stop focusing more on the downhill, the waves and crests type thing, but you're always going down. You stop focusing on that so much and focus on the positive. Wow, look at all these new people. I've never met a single person in this group. Where are they from? What do they do? What are their goals, dreams, and aspirations? There's so much to learn. There's so much in front of you now that you could gain from these 4 strangers. It's great. It really is. Everyone has a story to tell, and, well, they can be quite interesting. Now, on the opposite end, you sit there and you wonder, who are these people? Why are they looking at me this way? Why can't I connect with them? Why am I not talking? Do they not find me interesting? I don't have anything interesting to say. They're talking about something I'm not even familiar with. I should just wait. I'll just wait. Okay, so the conversation's really not changing. It's just, oh my god. Anyway, the time is about 10 seconds since I checked it last. And yeah, that was a good joke. Yeah. Laugh a little bit to show that I'm listening. I'm interested. Yeah. But you look at there. Yeah, they're talking. Yeah, I'm gonna nod my head. I agree. And you're in your head. And instead of focusing on the good, the possibilities of a conversation, you're in your own head, talking to yourself. And you cannot listen to other people when you do not shut up. And here, you gotta shut up sometimes. Because left unchecked, your brain is gonna go haywire. It's gonna run back and forth. And the next thing you know, you're thinking of 12 different problems before you found one solution. It's not good. I know this is quite rambly, so let me get to the point here. How do we overcome this? Of course, we've already established established that going home and leaving these situations doesn't help. Feels better. But it does cause a negative outlook on things. It causes us to go to a place where you're looking at a situation all wrong. And you're looking at how next time it could be so much worse. Or you might think, oh, well, next time it'll be better. And then you go there. And then you remember last time. And before you've even given this time a chance, you've given up. You're gone. Game over. So, overcoming anxiety is not easy. And I still struggle with these things today as well. But at the root and core of everything and the anxiety ailment rests in your head. It's all there. Now, your head does then cause your body to, as a dog at 2 a.m, what a wonderful world, cause your body to have panic attacks or, quicken your breathing and all of these things that physically affect you stem from the mind. So, a lot of people try to fix the problems or the symptoms instead of addressing the issue. So yeah, you can take anti-anxiety meds, which I've done, or you can take like Xanax and all of those. Stop your panic attacks, which is great if you need to do that. I'm not saying that that's not a viable method. I mean, everyone, and I want to make this very clear, do what works for you. I'm not saying what I'm saying here is the best option, clearly. Just my thoughts on the matter. Those are addressing the symptoms. And if you could find a solution to the problem, to what starts and initiates those symptoms, you can prevent those symptoms from happening. So, if your heart quickens at the thought of going to a bar with people you've never met before, why? Are you afraid they'll think you're not cool? Are you afraid that you'll try your best and they won't like you? Or what are you afraid of? And at the end of the day, ask yourself the worst thing that can happen. It might seem terrifying, but if it happened, could you live with it? Okay, I go to the bar. They think I'm a loser. Everyone laughs at me. I go home. Sucks. But at the end of the day, who cares? These people obviously weren't meant to be your friends or in your life. And if they were good people, you might have gotten along with them. So it's important to understand what's the worst thing that could happen and not focus on that, but come to terms with its possibility and understand that that is a possibility. Here's why I'll be okay with it. And not what's the worst thing that could happen. And then that could happen, and then this could happen, but that could happen, and then this will happen, and then this will. That's when you start to spiral. So, I go to the bar. All 4 of these people laugh at me. I get to go home and have a nice cup of tea. Great day. I go to the bar. All these people laugh at me. I focus on this one night for the rest of the month. Bad times. Not good. And it's as simple as giving yourself something positive to look at. Something enjoyable to a bad situation. And I say as simple, but it is also just as difficult because I know the mind's not an easy thing to control. If it was, none of us would have these problems. So, overcoming anxiety. The first steps you can take are to figure out what it is you want from the situations that cause you anxiety. Why are they necessary in your life, if they're necessary in your life? If you don't like socializing, but you need to for your job, why is your job important? Is it worth it? I didn't like socializing in the past, but as a filmmaker, you have to have a good relationship with your clients. It requires it. So, I hate socializing, but I love filmmaking. Do I love filmmaking more than I hate socializing? Yes. Okay, suck it up. Find a way to deal with it. I have to talk to this client. I get to make a kick-ass video. It's give and take. There's not going to be a good part of everything all the time. It's just not how the world works. And it will never be how the world works. Even waves push and pull. If it was one constant wave, it would go. It just doesn't make sense. So find the good and the bad always and stop focusing so much on the negatives and the what can happen, the if can happen, and how bad it's going to be. Because I'll tell you right now, over 90% of the things that you think will happen won't. And if they do, they won't be half as bad as you thought they were. And that's what's important to remember. That as long as you're above ground and it's a good day, there is nothing to worry about as long as you love what you do. You love yourself. And you're passionate about being alive. Because none of this matters. It doesn't. At the end of the day, every single one of us, at some point in time, won't be here anymore. Whether you believe in religion, whatever. It's not going to matter. If you believe in the afterlife and you can look back, it'll be fond memories, I'm sure. If you don't believe in anything, it's nothingness and you won't remember it existed in the first place. There's nothing to be anxious about then. There's nothing to be anxious about now. So, start trying to take measures to lessen the difficulties of life. Life is hard enough without your brain fighting against you. It really is. So really think about it. Think about what you need to be happy. You might think it's a lot, but I can guarantee it's not much. To be loved or to travel or to love, I don't know. But I can guarantee that if you want something and you want it bad enough and you're willing to make sacrifices to get those things, and you're resilient and creative, that you can construct a way, find a path to do what you want. I like to look at Tiger King. Okay? Here's this man with a low level of, I'm assuming, intelligence. I mean, maybe it's high, who knows? But from the outside, a low level of intelligence, yet. And I'm not saying his actions are justified or good in any way, but he was able to do everything he wanted in life up until he went to prison. He made it work. And if someone like that can make it work, you can make it work. 100%. You can make it work. Because I know you have it in you. Now, again, this is not meant to supplement therapy of any kind. I'm not a professional therapist. I've just been through a lot. If you are having things that general discussion can't solve, I suggest that you find someone to talk to who has studied these things or went to school or did that whole thing, and find someone who can help you. And obviously, I will do my best, but the end of the day, I'm here for encouragement. And I'm here to tell you things will be better. Because I believe in my heart that they will be. And I believe in my heart that one day you'll believe it in yours. So, it's been good. It's been great. It's kind of rambly. I don't even know if this is on topic or not, but I'm going to post it anyway. So, yeah, thanks for coming to Tea Time. Tea Time. I don't remember who made the comment. I'll post it down here, but it was a very good pun. Very good pun, so bravo. Thank you for that. Really good. And, yeah, so thank you to all my patrons for everything that you've done. And seriously, you're all amazing. Thank you to everyone who watches this. Thank you. So, I hope this helps at least a moderate amount. And that, I don't know, that you sleep better or something, you goober. I guess. We'll see. We'll see in the morning, maybe. Hope you liked your tea, even though you didn't touch it. And if this is a thing, I'll see you on next Tea Time Tuesday. Tease Day. Tease. The pun is there. I gotta find it.